Hello, everyone who joined us, and not so much people so far. Let's wait a little bit. Who joined us, please let me know in the chat. Can you hear me? Oh, I see. There is a delay about 10 seconds. And I see comments later. Okay, let's start. And if someone will want, he will join us. Before we started, I have to introduce myself. I'm a front-end developer at EPAM, more than 4 years, mostly worked with Angular and a little bit with React. And for now, we have RxJS lecture. This lecture, well, a little bit different against another, because I won't share any slides, any theoretical information in the presentation. I want to go through the documentation of RxJS and show some examples, because that's important to know how to use it, but not what is it. Yep, I'm at office. Okay, sharing the screen. One moment. Now you have to see this window with the documentation. Okay, what's the reason why this technology was created? And if you know, I probably hope that you had a time to observe our course and learn a little bit about this. In JavaScript, only few functions exist to work with asynchronous operations. That set interval, set timeout, that is most used. And in some time, promises was created, was injected into JavaScript to simplify the way to handle the processes, because it's too hard catch some event and some events and process it with some result. And RxJS as a third-party library, and it's just part of Angular framework, but it's as an independent library and could be used in any project without Angular at all. But it should be set up in another project. It's not so hard, and if it could be done. About the question a little bit later, please. Returning back to the promises, what's the difference between the promises? Because it works, why not? Between promises and this new approach, RxJS. Promises only one-time entities. It could be result, or could be failed, nothing more, and only once. If we need repeat this action, we have to create a new promise, and that's a little bit complicated. That's why people invented RxJS, because this technique allow us to subscribe some source of data and getting information all the time until we need it, until we process it, and cancel this process when it have no more essence for us. And later, RxJS was extended by pipes, and that's functions that can bring more functionality for the stream and process the data before this data will be delivered to the target. The second benefit of RxJS that's observable will perform only when at least one subscriber exists. If no one needs this data, these functions will not be performed at all. As was promised, it performs always when we create it, and maybe we don't need it anymore, but it still be processed without the ability to cancel it. We cannot cancel promise. Actually, there is a way, but so difficult to use it, and we could consider promises as the entities that cannot be cancelled. but observables can be cancelled in any time, and don't use the computing of laptop. Okay, and if you want a presentation, you can take it from the previous lecture in the GitHub repository. There is presentation slides and the explanation of it. I will jump into the documentation instantly and want to explain shallowly what are there. Questions, let's see. How do RxJS solve the issue of callback hell? We will see later. Please remind me this question. I will try to show it in an example. Okay, the theory of this. What we have the observable, that's entity that produces the values, and we have subscribers, that's the consumers, that gets these values and use it in ways they want to do it. That's a simple chain of these entities, just only generator or some producers and consumer. Like this. For example, that's imagine that's a producer. We subscribe. We want to get these values and pass the consumers that will manage, that will process this data. And that's the simplest example of RxJS. How can we create, or how can we make these generators? This first page of the documentation, RxJS.dev, contains information about the observables, but this explanation is detailed. In AngularJS, we mostly don't need it, and we use the ready-made generators that already exist, or we can use another way with subjects that we will see later. But you can read this documentation, how to create manually this observable, and maybe you will need it in some sophisticated situations, and will understand how it works. But there is a lot of information, and I guess you don't need it to know for now. Only what you need to know, that's observable, that's an instance of something that generates the values in somehow, in some way, somehow. Okay, I left this page for you to manually learning. What is observer? Observer, in simple words, that's only one function or maybe set of function that gets the values or the state of that stream and process manage it in some way. That's a final function that obtained the information and make some actions. And this entity passed in the subscribe function. That function starts the reading information from this observable. Why the different types could be passed here? Because if we need only the values from this stream, only values, for example, let's see how it works in a real example like this. That is an documentation. Don't see this, don't look at this example and result page. I will explain what's that later. If we want to get only the values from this stream, we can use the simplest format of the subscriber. That's a function that generates some stream. And subscribe, we connect to that generator and we'll get some data. First type that could be passed here, that's a function when we need only the values without the state of this stream. Function gets only has only one argument, and that's a value that emits actually. Let's type arrow function when the first argument, it's actually what we will contain, what we will obtain from this stream. But if we want to see the state of this stream, we have to add some more functions here. In the object format, this occasion, when we want to get values of the stream, we have to pass the function in the same format that was above. That value. That's a way where we get some values. Actually, you can see the result. Doesn't matter what the numbers for now. Second argument, it's a error property of this object. This function already also function with one argument can process the state when this observable becomes failed. That's just such a promise that failed, and we want to know about it, want to handle this situation. And this way, we can handle somehow this error that occurs in this in our stream. And the third argument that could be passed here, it's property complete. Without any argument in the function, and it is used when we want to do some actions when this stream finished successfully. It used not so often, as well as error functions, because in most cases, we have to catch errors before this stream becomes failed and make some processes to retrieve data again, to replace that, to do something, but not get an error, because error will be displayed for the user, and that's a bad user experience. And complete function can be used also to finish something. If the stream succeed, we might want to do something else. But that's about the observer, the object format with the three functions, or you can pass only few of them. It's not required to pass all three. What we need, that function could be passed here. Or the option run only one function passed in the subscriber to get only the values, but we don't care about the state of this stream, whether this stream failed, succeed, doesn't matter. Okay, that's a simple example with some generator and the subscriber. Subscriber only connects to the stream and runs these functions. Actually, that's it. But what is a generator? What function can generate this data? First example shows how we can write it manually, but that's a little more complex that we need in most cases, and there is a lot of generator ready-made functions that we can use, and you can find them all at the operator section. A little bit scroll down, and here the categories and the function are grouped because on the reference page they are not collected, and there is only one huge list of everything. But if you know what you need, you can find here easily. About the operators, this list of generators, that the function can be used for generate some observable that will emit data. But there is a difference between the type of these functions. And exist two types of RxJS observables that they're called hot and cold. What it means. Imagine that in vanilla JS, we can subscribe, or we can add some listeners to the some button on our page, and it looks in a way. Zoom a little bit. Probably not, because what page do you want to zoom in? About the signals, actually, signals are aimed on another purpose. And in the project where, for example, RxJS cannot be used, because RxJS is a simple way, and the way the third-party libraries that are maintainable, and the new features are been added to this library. For now, that's version 7, and the seven version of this library has breaking change with 6, and for now we use in our project 7 and observe this exact version. Okay, what is the generators? There are functions that can produce values for us. You can go through all of them, but I will stop on a few of them that I used mostly in the projects. First, that's of function that gets only the set of some values and emits them one by one immediately. It means this value emits independently, but without any delay. And if we subscribe of this stream, we get these 3 numbers at once. If we have the predefined some values, we can use this to simply create from any values a stream and pass it further if we need it. Interval, that's a function that produces the value with some interval. That's analog of set interval function of JavaScript. It takes one number, that's a millisecond, between the emission, and this function emits a number in sequence in a row, starts with 0. Just counter from 0 and nothing more. We can create with this function some timer, just like a set interval can do it. And there is an analog of this function timer that accepts 2. except two arguments. The first, that's delay till first emission. And if we pass the second argument, then it acts like an interval. With some intervals, emits some values, starts with 0, course. But if we don't pass the second argument, only the first one, this timer behaves like a set timeout function of vanilla JavaScript. It used often because we need some way to postpone some actions, and like a set interval in JavaScript, we use it in many pieces of the project. This first argument can be date, but it is used not so often, and if you want, you can get aware about it yourself. Okay, next one. From event, the function that gets first argument, that target, that's entity that emits value, for example, the button, and the event name, the second, actually as an example. And the second argument, that's event name of that emission. Likely it used for button and click, or button, or some even page and mouse, enter, mouse, over, and like this. The recent example, but it's most used like this. And we can, instead of writing some ways to connect and to attach the listeners via add document listener to the element, we can use this way, because once we create it, we can connect it and proceed the data. And RxJS provides a lot of additional functions that can be helpful for handle this data. The range function that creates the sequence, but from first argument to the second argument, and produce them into the stream. If we need some limited numbers, we can use this one, also used often in the project. Okay, we can create the observables with these functions. We can we need to have the ability to proceed these values to get the result as we want. How can we do that? Functions called pipes exist for that. That's functions, that's a pure function that we can pass into the pipe method. one by one in that sequence that this data should be processed. It means that if we pass several functions in a pipe method, they will be performed in that way exactly. And that's important. We should consider and to take this into account when we combine these operators to get the appropriate values at the end of our stream. About the operators, that's a middleware between the source of data and the consumers. This function just used for transform, manipulate the data, or maybe filter the data before they be got by consumer. And there are a lot of functions that we can use. In most cases, we don't need create the pipes by own, but it's possible if we need it. We can create custom operators, but that's a rare needs. And if you can omit it and use only the existing functions. What functions exist? Filtering operators. That number of functions gets the value and omits if some conditions are not met, or through this value further when it met the conditions. Let's try to see the example. While I'm waiting this page, let's see the questions, if there are. Actually, no. I don't see. Okay. This number of functions checks the value and decide to throw it further or not. All the functions we can't observe, but let's see the commonly often used of them. Filter, that's a function that just get one argument, the value, and makes some decision through this value further to the stream or not. If these conditions are not met, this value won't be thrown. And the following operators and the consumers won't get this value at all. Actually, the examples, if this value is produced by interval generator is met this condition, they will thrown down. The other values won't be. The pretty simple purpose of the function. Skip function behaves the opposite way, but there is skip last, skip until, skip while. They have the similar purpose, but with a different structure and the different way to check this value. For example, skip the function that only accepts the number. How many emitted values should be got off, and after this number, the following emitted values will be passed down as usual. Skip last just skip while, the interesting function. That's a function that gets the emitted number, and only if these conditions met, this value won't be passed down. But since these conditions haven't met, firstly, this skip value function won't be performed anymore. It doesn't matter the following number, the following emitted values will match this condition or not. It will be passed down after first fail of this condition. And skip last, that's operator that drops out the last two. The last two values. As you can see, the four values are emitted, A, B, C, D, but only the first two are achieved to the consumer. There are more complicated functions are present here, and we will return back to it a little bit later. But what if we don't want to use the existing generator? We want to use something for our goal that we can manage totally, completely managed. There is a new entity that's called subject. Subject, that's a subclass of observable. Let's say that. And if observable just can be used as a data streamer, subject can be used for that purpose also, but additionally we can manually send the values for that entity, and we should create the instance of this entity like subject. We can subscribe to it, 1, 2 subscribers, and after that we can send the values by the function next and set something that we want to pass into the stream, and all the functions that are connected to the stream will process this data, or subscription functions like this, or with some pipes if there is added into the stream. There is no example about it. Okay, I will write it later. What about some extended subjects? Oh, good. If this subject, that's a primitive example when we want to emit some value, and only if some things are connected to that, are linked to that stream, only this function will proceed this data and can get it. But there are additional subjects that can extend it functions. Behavior subjects is like the same, but with the default values. Default values will be emitted instantly when at least one or first consumer will occur. And after that, all data that we send it manually will be passed into this entity and proceeded. Like this example, behavior subject we created with 0 default initial value. We subscribe this subject. Actually, the difference, one essential difference between promises and observables, that's promise performed instantly when we create it, but the observables starts working when at least one first consumer connected to it. That's the reason why we created the behavior subject, and only if we subscribe firstly for it to it, we get this value 0, and after that we send any other values and see it in the result. But pay attention, the two subscribers are here, and first was first subscriber was written before we sent the any values, and one after the two of them. It means that first observable gets only the values that were sent before. In our case, just only 0, because there is no any other emissions like this, and we get 0. The first this behavior starts, 0 was sent, and that's it. Second, we sent next values 1, 2. We see it as well, 1, 2. And after that, we make another subscription. And at that moment, 2 of them are active. And we get the last of them, because we have a behavior subject that sends last one, or initial or last one of them values. We make subscriptions. We get another value, and both of them gets number 3. That's the reason the 2 of them are here. Okay, then another type of subjects, just replace subject as kind of subject with ability to send any passed number of last values to the consumer when new consumer appears. It means we created the instance of replace subject with a forecast that we will get the last three values from this subject when we subscribe it. But the first subscriber don't have the three values, and we get only nothing because there is no values. Observer A. Then we send 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers, and observer A gets these 4 numbers. After that, the next subscriber, observer B, have to get the last 3 values, and that's the reason why this new subscriber gets 2, 3, and 4, the last 3 of them. And the last value, 5, will be passed into the both of them. Just a logical, actually. RxJS, that's a library. How we see this stream, how we see this operators in that way they are performed. It's nothing mystery, and you just see the sequence of the pipes, of the operators in the pipe, and in that way that will be proceed. That's it. And I think subjects not used often won't be observed for now. Okay, and let's consider the subscription. I will show you an example, a little example. I have app component. There's nothing. And in HTML, just only the new my custom component special button with the directive that makes it visible or not. But as you know, I hope this directive creates or destroys component totally, completely. It means that component, if this condition are not met, this component destroys and don't exist. It matter. And the label is just a checkbox to change the this indicator. The initial state false. It means that my component isn't visible and isn't created. That's important because this component, this is just a button, nothing more. But this component has the interval generator. As a so this function produce a sequence of numbers with a 1 second delay. And what happened here? This function generates the values. We subscribe it, and we proceed it, handle it. For now, it's just a console output. And I have the indicator that my component is created or destroyed. Let's see in the console what is happening when I change my checkbox. I click, I see the button, and this only need function run. Okay, function starts and generates the numbers. Great. It looks good, maybe, but what if I remove this button? This button was destroyed, and we see it with this message. But the problem is that this observable are not cancelled, and the value and this generator still generates something, but we don't need it anymore. That's reason why in the project could have memory leak, because if we didn't cancel or we didn't unsubscribe this stream, and we don't need it anymore, but this stream works and use the computing of the machine. For this purpose, in the RxJS exists the result of this function subscribes to the stream and return the subscription. Let's save into the variable. That's a subscription. It needs only when we need to cancel this subscription. For example, if this component are destroyed, we have to have we should have the reference to it in our own distro function, because we need to cancel the subscription. That's why I create a private subscription property here. Subscription should be imported. Okay, and save my subscription into this value. Never used. Okay. For now, if the component is being destroyed, we need to call the method unsubscribe without any arguments. That way, it has to be initialized. No. Mm. Mm. Oh, okay. Let's make this hug. But the type of this result is subscription. What next? Let's update the page. For now, we have this work for the generator, but if we cancel if we remove this button from our screen, we can see this stream was stopped. And don't consume any computer resources. That's important. You should make this possible everywhere, because it should lead to huge performance problem on your project for the browser. The way that you can use this unsubscribe version option, or maybe another way to to cancel this subscription. First of them, that's save subscription and manually unsubscribe when we need it. It's used, but not so often. The more often used way, if we create service, destroy service, yes, injectable, and provide it in root and export. Destroy service, same name. Yes. But what we need to do, just extend this our class from the subject. And subject, I hope you heard and you know about the generic types. Subjects, just example when we have to pass a type of these values, but I don't know the type, and actually I don't have to know the type. And I can use void because this series, this entity, I need only to remove my subscription, but I don't care about the values that would emit there. And we extend from the subject, and the next action we have to implement on destroy interface component and services realize this interface, and we can use it. Oh, by the way, about the completion and filing status of the subscriptions. The simple way that I showed, we get the numbers, but we don't care about the state. That's a completed streams or failed for some reason. We don't know why. And if for some reason this stream we need to complete by ourselves, we can use the method complete. This method exists in subject or the entities that extends this subject. Subject just entity that we can emit values into it and complete this stream totally. And for some reason, if we need, we can send an error. Some error here, but it used not so often. Everything we should do is complete this service itself. But how to use it? We know that this service, if this service are destroying, we complete this instance of subject or instance of stream. We refers to the documentation and look for the operator that can complete the stream for some conditions. These operators exist, and it's called take, or actually take the operator that takes some limited numbers of the stream, like 2, just that's number, nothing more, and we get 2 values, and this vertical lines means that this observable are completed and cannot be used anymore. Actually, the kind of take operators take until do the same, but it accept the observable input, just like observable, some observable, and if it as if this observable emits any value or completes this observable that this operator applied on will be completed also. Example from here. Interval. We know that this generator emits every second one value, and some another generator that reacts on our clicks on the document. If we use take until, if you use take until and pass this clicks observable, when we click on any point on the page, this source will be completed. We can use this feature for our example. We create distress service, but one moment, we don't need to use it. This service should be just only instance for the component that is used it. What I mean, we use it for special button. We need it here. We pass it for the providers destroy service. Yeah. This property allow us to create the instance of the destroy service only for this instance of the component, and we can get this instance in the constructor private to make it global accessible. Destroy service. Now we get this instance of the destroy service. In our case, that's just a subject that emits the complete state when it is terminated, and use it here in our stream. Instead of using this unsubscribe, I can remove it. I can remove everything and use take until operator that should be imported. Okay. Take until from yes operators. And parsed our destroy is written correctly. Destroy instance. In this way, this service will be terminated. This component will be terminated when we remove from the screen it, and this stream will be cancelled with this command. How we can be sure about it? Let's pass into the consumer subscribe an object when the next the value that's just function was earlier value and oh sorry and complete function without arguments just to make sure that we complete these observables and it don't use resources. Completes. Okay, let's try. Mm. Good. We don't have anything. We have no anything and see the button and our streams works. Okay. No. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Nokia, just the best phone in the world. Mm. There's the bug. That's piece of code. Interesting. Mm-hmm. One more time. Okay, and it works. In the previous version, it worked without the next emission. For now, it could be. What we have done, created the instance of the service, passed into the take until, and completes this stream when buttons are terminated. That's it. That's the way is used mostly in the project, in the high project. More than 1 hour passed, and we covered the function delay. We didn't touch about delay. That's an operator that postpone emission of the values with some microseconds. Just move it in some time, nothing more. But sometimes it's used. More complex functions, operators you can observe by yourself. For this, you can use the service that you can find in the search results, just like RxJS with, and that's a presentation, a visual presentation of the streams and what's going on with it. Basic interval and basic example. We have interval with emission the numbers each 1 second. Only 4 values we will take of them, and take that's remark. You can be careful about the operators that completes source observable or not completed, just to make some actions. Take that's kind of operator that completes source stream. It means we will take 4 values and completes stream, and that's it. Let's see how it looks. Visualize. Each 1 second, but just 4 values we will take, and this vertical line let us know that observable completes. We can change the second of these emissions, and for values and completions, nothing more. About the errors, one moment, please, but a little bit later. That's a combination of several observables, and of, as we mentioned, emits the value instantly 1 by 1, and we have 3 of them, and the interval that emits a value each 1 second. Just we use timer as a source of data, and after that we use some operators. Zip operator took 1 values from each of the past observables and pass it down. As a result, we have 4 arguments in the array, because zip returns array of the values, and we don't need first of them because that's a timer. We don't need, but we have to know about the 3 of the following, and just see the concatenated string. Let's see how it looks. What we got. Internal, just for the timer, nothing more. We got each values from the past observables and emit them. It means first values from each of the observables. Nothing E4, and nothing, we don't have it. E4, and it's a string. Second one, the horse and C6 image, C6. And that's a result. We can, using by this service, test ourselves and write the correct streams. To be honest, the service could provide deprecated functions, maybe, probably, but I'm not sure. And you just only be aware about it and use documentation to get the information, the neural information. And then following examples are complicated, but you can manage it myself, just understanding the core essence of this approach. Nothing more you need. Simple example. From event, we use it. Document in mouse over, it means that I will use my mouse on the field and produce some data. Map. A property map is used mostly in each stream because every time we need transform something, map just like an in array takes some value that emitted and transform it or make something and return the new values that will emit it down. As it's an analog of arrays method. And from this event, we take only the client C, client X value, and let's remove it. What do we see? A lot of values. But why? Each time this generator produces a value, map, transform it, and pass down. And there is no thumb delay. And each data we can see here, a lot of data. What if we need to make it not so often and annoying? We can use some operators that that emits the value only by some conditions. Throttle time means that at least one value will be emitted within 300 milliseconds, but no more. Only one or none of them if producer don't produce anything. Let's observe the difference with the previous one. And I see those numbers because every 300 milliseconds we get only one value. The similar behavior is in operator debounce. Debounce time. The difference is slight, the difference between the bounce time and throttle time, and you can find some explanation because that's a little bit harder than in one world. In your project, actually, you will use this operator debounce time or throttle time for the search when you need to not produce so many data when a user fastly type something in search field. You need to make the delay, make some delay between this HTTP request, and it can be achieved by this operator. And this service provides us, actually we can edit any of them, but custom can be used for our some learning person and write anything and test it, whether it works or not. Just remember this, or you can find it by this search phrase. Okay, and from my and for now, probably that's it, because I don't want to dive into the complex essence, and you have to understand just only this shallow approach, and can use it in your project. One more thing, that's just I will send you actually this, repository with the tasks. You can you can try to do it, to consolidate your knowledge with it. And I hope that this material wasn't difficult, and you will use this documentation to get more information about this system. We don't cover the testing because in simple projects, tests for the method that used RxJS written just via the subscribe function, straightforward way. And it's not recommended, but that's easiest. Then write this marbles schema and use it, because if something changed, you should edit everything of this. Not so easy, but more reliable. About the hot and cold. Just one moment. What is Cold Observables? Cold Observables, that's a stream that starts to run when a new consumer is connected to it. Like just such an interval. If let's write example, interval, oh my god, we created, and we don't need this functions. We just need one sum. Take until, let's keep it in our component to avoid memory leak. Interval. And just what we can see. Nothing changed. Okay, that's a predicted behavior. What if I my observable, just one instance, but used 2 times. There are 2 consumers connected, and I see the double values in the console, because every time these cold observables are connected by some consumers, it runs again from the scratch. Just such a kind of the streams in Angular HTTP client. When you make some HTTP calls, get post methods, it creates the cold observables, and you can subscribe it. But if you subscribe 2 times, you will get 2 HTTP requests in the network tab. Your browser will do it twice. What the hot example of the observable? That's a way when we don't care about the numbers of the consumers. The produces the values and emits them only once. It means just like from event. Example, when I can use document and click event, and let's save it into the variable. Click. Just need to be imported. Event. Yes, and I subscribe once to this observable, and I console these values. One value. That's that. Click, click, click. Okay, I get 3 values. What if I use set timeout just for the example? 3 seconds. It means 5 seconds. Let's set 5. This consumer will start work in 5 seconds after the first one. And let's see what happened. Just update. Click. Click, 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 click. And I get the value from the first of the subscription. But if the 5 seconds passed, I click, I see the 2 of them, because the second observable are performed. and they both get the values. But the second observable haven't got the first emitted values. It don't know about the previous values. It just it accept only the new one. And this observable emits the value just one stream and who want to connect them, they do it and get only the new values after the subscription. That's the reason. Okay. I guess we can finish our this shell of version of the lecture. Your questions, if any other questions do you have? Okay, I don't see any questions. It means that we can stop this recording, and I wish you the best doing your next task, next tests of RxJS. And if you have any questions during the work, you can run it in the Discord chat. Okay. No questions. We can finish. Have a good evening and see you. Bye.